Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today we will be local store plant shopping at Calloways Nursery off of 121 in Custer in Plano, Texas. Please make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe. Calloways is a local plant nursery chain in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I am based out in North Dallas, so for all of those that are new to the channel, welcome. And for all of my plant foldies, which is what I call my viewers and subscribers, welcome to this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. As you guys can see, there are a lot of new plants at Calloways. I love going to several locations of Calloways just because they always have something new. You can see they've got a display of air plants right over here, and spring has come. Spring is on day 14, and I'm very excited to show you the huge shipment of plants that they've gotten for the indoor tropicals as well as the outdoor landscape. And you can see that they still have a bunch of these plants, like the overflow of carts. Love the the flowering plants that they have right over here. They've got some Riger begonias right over here. Love some Riger begonias. You can see how gorgeous the blooms are, and you can see that the price there is not a bad price at all. I haven't gotten a Riger begonia. I am growing some wax begonias, which are typically meant to grow outside, but look at how gorgeous these blooms are right over here. This one is with white blooms and then just pink edging. You can see that it does have like a wax begonia type look about it. And for those that have grown Riger begonias, please let me know in the comments or even in the live premiere chat what the care tips are. But let's just admire all of these blooming plants here. And you can see there's some gorgeous looking African violets here. Love African violets. You know, my grandmother grew a bunch of African violets when I was growing up, and so I've always been around them. These ones don't have the variegated leaves. I have one African violet, but I love the purple undersides of this particular African violet. Now, the trick is with African violet, they do require a lot of bright indirect light. If you can grow them near a windowsill, that would be awesome, but never, never, never get their stems or their leaves wet. It's not good for them. They will actually they will just get soggy and eventually just die. So you want to make sure that whenever you're growing African violets that you are bottom watering them and not top watering them. Look at this gorgeous Monstera Thai constellation here. These ones are for $249.99. This one's already a semi-mature Monstera Thai constellation, and it's just really cool to see that Monstera Thai constellations are readily available. And then we can take a look at some more of these African violets right over here. This one has some more darker foliage leaves, and then also the blooms are variegated as well. So really like that a lot. That one, let's see the price for this one right over here. This one is for $16.99 in a 6-inch planter. So if you want to get some nice African violets, I would say most local plant nurseries have them, and I would say that they probably have more healthier varieties versus going to a big box store. Again, most people who find my channel have found it because of the big box store plant shopping, but I do want to give you guys more varieties of plants. So I like to show local plant nurseries. So in case you go to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you will see some local plant nurseries. I'm a big advocate of supporting local businesses as well, even though big box stores have some amazing plants as well, and also the pricing is great. I love pink plants, and you can see that this polka dot plant's right over here. This one has some light pastel pink around it. The thing about this is, and then this one's not a bad price at all if you see that. Polka dot plants are a little bit more challenging. I think the watering is what gets me. Like, they don't want to get underwatered, otherwise they will get crispy and wrinkle. But if you overwater them, they will also die as well. So you just have to really figure out a consistent watering schedule for them. And then over here, we've got some more of these interesting looking plants, some cryptanthus. Look at that. I like that. It almost looks like a cool version of a sansevieria or a snake plant. Really like the pattern and the variegation. And one of my favorite Tradescantias, this is a Tradescantia nanuk. I like Calloway's Tradescantia nanuks. These are only for $9.99, which is not bad at all because it's really nice and full. There's several plants in there. So, you know, with Tradescantias, you got to watch out for them because it can get a little bit leggy. So I actually ended up buying a Tradescantia nanuk with the intent to propagate them. They're fairly easy to grow and they root very well. And then there's just so many other plants that we can take a look at. So let's just take a look at these. And you can see that they have some more cryptanthus right over here. This one is really cool for $19.99. I really like the look of this. It does remind me of like a snake plant, but look at this. This is a pink plant. And again, I love pink plants. I'm sure if you guys like pink plants. I love anything pink. And so, you know, these cryptanthus, I really like that as well. May add one to my collection at some point, but I don't really know all of their care conditions for it. So if you know anything about that, please make sure you are leaving that in the comment as well as, you know, in the live premiere chats. And then we're going to be taking a look at a lot of bromeliads, assorted bromeliads. So obviously these are specific species. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm just going to lump them in as a bromeliad. What I like about these bromeliads is they have such a nice look about them. Like this is for $24.99. All of these are in 6-inch planters. I like that they have different varieties of colors. This isn't typically the bromeliads you would see in like a big box store. And you can see right here, hanging baskets of Boston tiger stripe fern. These are variegated ferns, nice looking Boston tiger stripe ferns. Again, with these ferns, this one is actually not a bad price at all for $24.99 in an 8-inch hanging basket. You know, I see a lot of ferns. They're readily available right now. I don't know if there's just a big demand for them, but if you like variegated ferns, the Boston tiger stripe fern is a really cool one to add into your collection. And then we're just going to look at all of these other bromeliads. You can see they've got different patterns, and I like the pink around it and just the striping. I'm not 100% sure how bromeliads grow, so if you know the care tips or would like to give some insights, as always, I always encourage our viewers that watch the channel to give their plant expertise. I love to learn from you guys as much as I like to give you guys my insights. Like, take a look at this one. I really like this because of the yellow, the bright yellow, the neon green color. These look like they were painted. Somebody might have taken some spray paint. So we're just going to sit here and admire bromeliads. Leave in the comments on the timestamp like which bromeliad you might like. I'm really curious to see what you guys like here. I just love the pink on these bromeliads. It just really looks like somebody spray painted the leaves. You know, for these types of bromeliads, I would say you would need to go view them from the top view. I am thinking about possibly getting one of these bromeliads at some point, but you can see that Calloways Nursery, this one particularly has a really good plant styling. They've got all of the bromeliads together, and you can see there's a Dieffenbachia camouflage as well. But I just like all of these bromeliads. Plant folies, let me know what you guys think. Which one's your favorite? This one's an interesting one here with the stripes. These are for $24.99 again. And what I like about these bromeliads is these are the ones that you typically don't see at big box stores. I think for these type of bromeliads, you really have to go look for them at a local plant nursery. And that's the reason why I like showing you guys local plant nursery shopping, just because we will be able to see some more plants outside of what we normally see at big box stores. You can see this one has a little bit of water in the middle of it, but look at that. Stunning, you know, just coloration on it. So those who love pink plants, you know, bromeliads are the it plant as well for that. Although I would say not many plant at least on YouTube or even like on Instagram, do I see a lot of plant bromeliad, people growing bromeliads is what I'm trying to say. These ones are the typical bromeliads you will see at the big box store, but the ones right here is pretty awesome. And you can see this is a string of turtles hanging basket. Gotta love some string of turtles. And then that big Monstera constellation that we've seen when I've visited this plant nursery. But this Calloways is super full. Like, look at this hanging basket of Anthurium claverinarium. Nice looking Anthurium here. The price is for $89.99. Actually, is it $89.99? Let's see. It is actually, no, $59.99. Even a better price for that Anthurium. Now, I don't really grow Anthuriums in my collection except the blooming Anthuriums that I've got in hydroponics. So, I've been told that Anthuriums can be a little bit finicky. They need a little bit more high humidity and even a fan if you're going to grow them in a cabinet. I do like this Boston Fern Rita's Gold. This is one of these plants that I would add into my neon yellow plant collection. Love the yellow light foliage this particular plant has, and this is for $16.99. I might end up getting a fern. I mean, I see a lot of ferns. There's so many ferns, especially when I go to Calloway's Nursery. So I might check that out. But look at these juvenile Monstera deliciosas. See, I like juvenile Monstera deliciosa leaves. And these are for $9.99 in a 4-inch starter planter. I might actually get one just so I could grow it in hydroponic, just because the roots are just busting out of these planters, these starter planters. But what I like about the juvenile Monstera deliciosa is just the heart-shaped leaves. I think those are really cool, and they grow upright. So instead of trailing like a philodendron heteroraceum, that one grows upright. And then here we've got a holly fern. So we've got more ferns right over here. I like the shape of this fern particularly. It's different, and it almost reminds me of like a Hoya, at least the shape does. That's a nice looking fern. And what else do we have here? So they've got a couple more philodendrons. This one is a philodendron goldii. This one is for $19.99 in a 6-inch planter. So I like that Calloways also has, a lot of good indoor aroids or indoor houseplants, plus the outdoor gardening, which we will visit just because it is springtime. So I'm going to show you some of these outdoor landscape plants that you can put in your outdoor garden. But since Calloways has a bunch of these plants here, I wanted to show you that. And we've been looking at some maidenhair fern. This one's for $6.99. I would love to grow a maidenhair fern, but I've had it in the past, and this one is a plant that is definitely thirsty, definitely needs a lot of high humidity. And I can get the humidity, it's just the thirsty part I can't necessarily get, because I do consider myself now more so an underwaterer. And I think it's because I end up being so busy with work and now with YouTube and some other things. Sometimes I neglect my plants based on just the underwatering. Some of my plants have actually kind of suffered with that, but I'm reeling it back in. And that's the thing about these plants. We go to a gorgeous looking plant nursery like this, and you can literally fill up an entire cart, but then realize that, do you actually have the time to water them, take care of them? So I talk about this often in many of my videos about just making sure you invest the time and have a reasonable amount of plants in your space where you're not overwhelmed with all of the plant chores. And then right over here, we are looking at some aglaonemas. This is an aglaonema red Siam. So I love aglaonemas. This one is particularly super full of aglaonema plants right here. And with aglaonema red Siam, it's probably one of the most common aglaonemas, probably the second most common aglaonema you will find anywhere, aside from the aglaonema silver bay. Beautiful plant. This one is for $39.99. But you get so many aglaonemas. You can actually separate these and get several plants if you like, or if you want to keep it in a planter like that and have a full one, that'd be awesome too. And look at this gorgeous looking Monstera. Look at that. Nice variegation. It's amazing that you can see Monstera constellations readily available. I mean, the pricing is slightly expensive, but not as compared to 3 to 4 years ago when they were in the hundreds of dollars. Now you can buy, 6-inch planted ones for I would say $89.99. At least this is the nursery that sells it. And then here we've seen an aglaonema BJ Friedman. So this one I actually like because I actually like the silver foliage, and then it's got some, unique variegation on it. I'm glad that I was able to get one, but that one you don't typically see at big box stores anymore. So it's good that they've released a couple of these Aglaonema BJ Friedmans as well as Aglaonema Silver Bay. So I'm actually tempted to get a larger Aglaonema Silver Bay. I got one from Home Depot, but it's not growing as fast as I want it, and I really want the large foliage leaves for the Aglaonema Silver Bay. I think that would be awesome, and these ones are not a bad price at all. These are for $16.99. And then I wanted to show you the bottom view of the Monstera Thai constellation. Look at that variegation, and then the fenestrations are amazing. I just like going to Calloways. And mind you, I didn't buy a single plant during this plant haul, so that was really good restraint for me. I just wanted to go show you guys all of the new plants that they've gotten since spring has started. They've got some more large foliage plants here of some Aglaonema Silver Bay. And the surprising thing is these plants can get even larger. Aglaonema are a little bit more slow in growth in terms of just how fast they can grow, but you know, they're very rewarding in the sense that they can tolerate lower light conditions. So lower light conditions, and if you're an underwaterer like me, they will be forgiving in terms of underwatering. You actually don't want to overwater an Aglaonema just because their roots could rot, and they start to get leggy and start to drop their leaves when they're not happy. So, you know, just a couple of tips on that. This one, I love the white stems. This one is an Aglaonema White Rain. I ended up getting a White Rain Aglaonema actually at Lowe's, and then we've got a Ficus elastica burgundy here. Beautiful looking rubber tree plant. I would say for these Aglaonema to be sold for $16.99 in 6-inch planters like this Aglaonema Juliet, I would totally buy them, and I think I am going to go add a couple of more in my collection. Over the weekend, I will be working on my plant room where I have some cabinets and some shelves that I'm going to get my plants together. I just feel like there were so many plants being put into my living room and just random spaces that I feel like an area where I can just have a plant sanctuary is going to work out for me, and then I can actually inspect my plants and make sure that they're all taken care of. And then this is a Dieffenbachia maculata. This is a smaller version. You often see that at a big box store in larger sizes like this. Gorgeous looking Dieffenbachia camouflage. The thing about Dieffenbachia, I'm still debating on whether I should grow one in my collection because they're basically the opposite of an Aglaonema. They don't really do well in lower light conditions. They definitely are a little bit more spider mite prone, but they're actually faster growing in growth rates. So that's an interesting part. They do look very similar though in how their leaves look and even the variegation. But you can see there's so many Aglaonemas here. We've got an Aglaonema Sparkling Sarah. Now, with all of these Aglaonemas that have like these gorgeous looking, coloration, variegation, and just patterns on their leaves, you definitely want to give them more bright indirect light for them to really max out on their coloration. Otherwise, they tend to be a little bit more green or their coloration isn't nearly as pronounced. So more light for these Aglaonema will get the gorgeous coloration that you would be wanting to look at. And we're going to go ahead and pan out over here again and take a look at these large Aglaonema Silver Bays. I want a large Aglaonema Silver Bay. I think it's such a classic plant, you know, the original Aglaonema that most people will see. And I did want to show you one of my favorite Ficus elastica. This is the Ficus elastica altissima. These are in the tree form where they basically cut the top of the plant and a bunch of branching came out. And you can see this is for $22.99. Not a bad price at all for a smaller plant. Now, obviously, these plants can get very large. They can get into full-size trees. Ficus elastica, or just any ficus in general, do require a lot of bright and direct light. I've grown my Ficus elastica in full sun in North Texas weather, and they do well for me. They actually thrive in, a lot of light, and you can see, look at how These roots have just really taken over the pot. This one needs to get repotted soon. I have some more that I want to add in terms of that, and that is one of my, Ficus elastica that I want to add is the Altissima. Love that green on green variegation, and you can see here another totem of Epipremnum pinnatum albo. But look at all of these plants. This nursery is full. I am so fortunate that this one is literally 10 minutes away from where I am based at. And then you can see here, we've got another juvenile Monstera deliciosa. This one's for $16.99, but I love the heart-shaped leaves. I wish that there was a plant that would just stay that size. I guess you could keep it that size if you just keep trimming back the fenestrated leaves. And then obviously we've got these Monstera Thai constellations. This one is in a 6-inch planter for $89.99. So if you want a Monstera Thai constellation and you don't want to spend over $100, you can go to Calloways and get a decent sized one. Now, I would say after seeing so many Monstera Thai constellations, you can be a little bit more picky in the variegation. Some are more highly variegated than others. I remember finding one here where like even the stems were pretty much white variegated. That was one plant that I thought I should have bought, but again, it's one of those things where you can always find reasons to buy plants, right? Like you can go into a plant shop and be like, I need to buy this plant, or I need to I should have bought this plant because of this. Either way, these plants will get restocked. So eventually you will find the plant again. But this one right here, I will say, has some really nice variegation, very even variegation. There's enough white speckling on this Thai constellation where it's nice. Sometimes if you get a highly variegated Monstera Thai constellation, you run into the risk of getting browning leaves like that one Monstera Thai constellation over there. And then now they have some 4-inch Monstera Thai constellations for $59.99. So if you don't want to spend quite a bit of money on the $89.99 version, you can just buy the $59.99 version. I did see a couple of posts that Home Depot in, I think, the Chicago area had some Monstera Thai constellations for like $39.99. So maybe Texas might get it. If they do, you already know I will get it on film and I may end up buying it. Here is a Ficus elastica ruby. Gorgeous looking Ficus elastica, but if you saw in my previous video where I do grocery store plant shopping, Trader Joe's has the best looking Ficus elastica, and that's the reason why I end up buying there. The variegation, the quality, and pricing is amazing. Like you can get a 6-inch planted Ficus elastica for $12.99 versus like the $22.99 you would pay here. And then here is a really interesting. So for $29.99, you can get a braided Ficus, Ficus triangularis variegata. So you can see they took several Ficus triangularis, braided it up, and then the plants fused to where they got a thicker trunk. So I talked about doing a bonsai tree using like a Ficus elastica or Ficus plant. And I think today is the day that I might end up actually buying one of these Ficus elastica, Ficus triangularis variegatas, because I think it'd be interesting. Number one, because the leaves are already in smaller form. And then number two, there is a decent sized trunk and I could take wire to actually bend it a little bit more to give it shape. But there is already a natural canopy looking for it. And again, there is that interest of a variegated plant. So I might end up getting this as like pre-bonsai. The thing about Ficus, I keep saying elastica, Ficus triangularis, they are a very finicky plant. You can see that there are some leaves dropping. The thing about this plant is once you move it, it will drop its leaves. It really needs to stay in one spot. It likes to just be in consistency. Now the other Ficus plants aren't as finicky. Now, Ficus benjamina is, but the triangularis is also one that will drop its leaves. And then we have a bunch of Phalaenopsis orchids here. Love Phalaenopsis orchids. You see them everywhere, but let's just admire the beauty of their roots and also their bloom. And over here, we've got some gorgeous looking Ficus shiverianas. Love me some Ficus shiverianas right here. I actually have one that I bought as a starter plug from Green Escapes in Etsy about 2 years ago, and it is such a slow growing Ficus elastica that it's one of those things that I might end up just buying a larger one just for instant gratification. And then I just wanted to pan over here and show you guys all of the larger plants that they have. They've got a Ficus Audrey here. I have one that dropped all of its leaves because I ended up having to overwinter it and leave it in my garage with a grow light. There just wasn't enough light, and then on top of that, I kind of neglected it. The cool thing is I see so many new growth points that it is growing, so we will see if it'll become a full tree again for me. I ended up buying it as a $5 clearance plant out at Walmart about 3 years ago, and it has grown this large, actually that tall. So that's interesting, and I wanted to show you this. This is a philodendron green Congo, and while this might be a common like philodendron, look at how large the leaves are. Look at how shiny the leaves are. Really nice looking philodendron green Congo. They've got a Rojo Congo as well, but this one is not a bad price at all. And look at how thick the foliage and stems are. Now, if you have larger spaces like this where you can house that would be awesome. And then they've got a bunch of Schefflera plants here. Love that as well. I got a good deal at Home Depot for a variegated one. And we've got some more philodendron green Congos right over here. And you can see the price. Gotta love that. $59.99 for that is not a bad price at all. Huge philodendron green Congo. I don't know if anybody actually grows that in their houseplant collection. Let me know in your comments below, or even in the live premiere chat, as well as getting a mature form or more semi-mature form of this Monstera deliciosa. So you can get Monstera deliciosas like this at big box stores, but I would say the quality of the Monstera deliciosas at Calloways are amazing. You don't really see a lot of leaf damage, and I can guarantee you they are probably going to be pest free because local plant nurseries just have more time to really take care of the plants. I mean, you can even see right here, like I'm even tempted to get this Dieffenbachia camouflage. I've been seeing it a lot. The pricing isn't bad at all for this one. You can see right there. And I just like that light variegation. But look at this. This actually has some cool green, half moon looking leaves. Nice looking camouflage, Dieffenbachia. I just need to figure out my space where I can either get a grow light to grow directly over a Dieffenbachia, or just really make some space for my bright indirect light windows. And then right here we've got a string of frogs, which looks like an oak leaf ivy that I saw at the Great Outdoors, which is another local plant nursery out in Austin, Texas. Nice looking string of frogs. It's actually got a really cool texture. It's super cute. And this one is for $22.99, I believe. And we've got another string of frogs right over here. Look at that. Very nice looking little string of frogs. And then we've got some more large Aglaonema silver bays. So for those that have the large space, if you want an instant gratification plant where you don't have to grow it up, you can go to a local plant nursery like Calloways. And I will say they have fair pricing for their large foliage plants. They get a lot sourced, and it's really interesting that they have so many plant nursery chains of Calloways all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you're ever visiting Dallas-Fort Worth and you want to look at plants and like a place where you can get good plants for decent prices, go to a Calloways. I've always been a big Calloways fan. Their staff is super friendly. They've got a good return policy, and then just the diversity of plants that they have is amazing. And you can see this table is about to get filled up, but I love this, lone Aglaonema silver bay here. You can see the price, not a bad price at all. Like I might end up just getting one of these big Aglaonema silver bays and calling it a day. But again, I don't have the space in my home for that. And look at these large Majesty palms right over here. Huge Majesty palms. And I just want us to admire all of these water fixtures, all of these fountains. I'm actually thinking about getting one just to put in my back patio, but they are a little bit pricey, so I will zoom in on all of the pricing. But it's always nice to listen to water sounds. So we're just gonna look at all of these fountains. Let me know in the comments what you think, or even in the live premiere chat, which would you add to your garden if you could get one today? And then over here, we are approaching a large Ficus lyrata tree. It is literally a tree. They've pretty much trimmed it down to where it has a canopy. Love the large Ficus lyrata trees. This is also known as the fiddle fig leaf tree. Some people will say this is a finicky plant. Mine hasn't been so finicky. The trick is, and you can see, wow, the roots have like wrapped around. This is super root bound. The trick is with Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf is you need to find a bright space where it gets a lot of light and leave it there. It'll acclimate, and then just make sure that if you're watering it, that it is on a consistent watering schedule. You don't want to do it to where like you don't water it for several weeks and then you just give it water. That's when it will be unhappy and it'll drop its leaves. And you can see right here, we've got a bunch of Pachira aquatica braided plants. Now these are not a bad size at all for the price as well. I do like Pachira aquatica. It's one of those plants though that I am going to be saving to get a variegated version. I think that would be really cool. And then we've got a bunch of these bamboo plants right here. Some of them are braided, some of them are trained to be like in a spherical column. So I think those are really cool. You know, you would consider the Pachira aquatica and these bamboo plants as like feng shui type, like good luck plants. I don't really believe in good luck. I think it's more about what you make of your day, but these are nice looking plants, and bamboo are part of the Dracaena family. And so we're going to be looking at Dracaenas right here. I love Dracaenas as well. I don't think a lot of people grow enough Dracaenas in their homes. This one is the Dracaena white jewel. Look at that variegation, the white stripes, and then just the different colors that you have. I definitely want to get some larger Dracaenas, not too large, but one that's about a medium size. And the thing about Dracaena are they're very easy to care for plants. They can tolerate lower light conditions. They are a little bit moderate in their growth rate, but they can also tolerate being underwatered. You don't really want to overwater a Dracaena, otherwise it will die, just like any other plant. But if you don't go water them for a while, they can tolerate not being watered. And here you can see that this is a Dracaena Janet Craig compacta. These are for $8.99, so all of those Dracaenas are not a bad price at all. You can actually start your Dracaena collection by going to Calloways if you're a local plant local plant foldie in the DFW. You can see these are Calatheas and 4-inch planters for $6.99. So I will be collecting these Calatheas and putting them in hydroponics. And for those again that don't know what hydroponics means, it's basically growing a plant in nothing but water. So I've been getting these little 3.5-inch, 4-inch glass bowls and putting them in water, and they've been doing amazing. And we're just going to pan it over here and admire the plants, and then we're going to be looking at all of the Hoyas as well. I will just show you the different types of Hoyas, but let's look at this peperomia here, Peperonia Ginny. This is for $6.99. That is not a bad price again for peperomia. This is one of the peperomias I have. And then we've got some variegated Hoya carrii. These are really cute as well. But let us admire all of these Hoyas. Now, I know that there are some Hoya heads out there, or the ones that really love Hoyas. So I will just pan over and show you guys the different Hoyas. And then you let me know what you think about the Hoyas that you see. Leave that in the comments. Leave it, in the live premiere chats if you're watching this live, and let me know. You can see right here, we've got some Hoya compactas for $19.99. That's a fairly expensive price, so I think you can get a better deal for a Hoya compacta. And then we've got some more Hoyas right here, a Hoya macrophylla. But yeah, let's just take a look at these, and then you let me know what you think. I will say the Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen is stunning. I love the white edges of the leaves and just how the variegation drops like that. This one is a really good looking hanging basket of Hoya Crimson Queen. So that's the thing about Hoyas. I want to find more Hoyas, but big box stores only typically carry like Hoya carnosa type Hoyas. But you know, if I run into more Hoyas, especially when I'm doing my plant shopping at local plant nurseries, I will make sure to take the time to show you guys that. I am becoming more of a Hoya fan as well. Like this one right here is a nice basket of Hoya Quintiana. This is super full and you can actually get some good sun stressing for these Hoyas. I really like that a lot, and I want to make sure that I can get some more Hoyas available for you. But Calloways has a pretty good selection of Hoyas, and then also just plants in general. So if you're looking for a particular genus of plants or species of plants, you can find more you know, those plants right here. And then we've got some Rhapis palms right here. I do like Rhapis palms just because of the leaf shape. And if you really look in the background, look at how many plants they have. This nursery is super full. I also love the fact that they've got the plants super organized. You know, I could just sit here and not talk and really just admire the plants, but I do want to give you guys a little bit more plant commentary. Now with the Rhapis palms, if you haven't seen my Plant Keeper Incorporated nursery video, check that out because you'll see some huge ones, big trees of Rhapis palms. And then obviously you can't go to a plant shopping place and not see like a ponytail palm. This is super cute for $9.99. You see this often at big box stores. I didn't realize that ponytail palms were actually considered a succulent and not a palm. So it's always nice to learn from other plant viewers. And then we have some assorted palms right over here. I'm not as big of a palm plant just because palms do require a lot of bright indirect light. This one though is for $6.99. And if you want a low light tolerant plant, a really good low light tolerant plant, get you a Spathiphyllum or peace lily. These are only for $6.99, and I get a lot of Canadian viewers, and I want to tell you that these plants actually that we're looking at are sourced from Canada. I couldn't believe that as well, but I really think that that's awesome that we get so many plants from Canada. These ones are, I don't know the particular variety. I know it has a different type of variegation. It's not a domino. So if you know the plant ID for this particular peace lily, please leave that in the comments. But that one's for $6.99. Not a bad price at all. And then obviously we are going to be looking at all of these syngoniums right over here. Really like that as well. This one's a really full syngonium plant. Not sure what the specific syngonium is. Unfortunately, the Calloways doesn't have a lot of like plant IDs for their specific syngoniums, but you know, nonetheless, I think that syngoniums are such a underrated plant. There's a lot of underrated plants, and syngoniums are another one. You would think that people would really go crazy over syngoniums. They're easy to care for. You can grow them growing up a pole and you get larger leaves, or you can let them trail like this. You can see that these are starting to put out some more trailing syngoniums, and they change their leaf shape and size as it matures. I like syngoniums because there is a lot of varieties. They used to be my favorite plant. They might end up being my favorite plant if my aglaonemas don't start acting right. But you can see this one is already root bound for $6.99. This would be a good candidate to put in a hydroponic situation, like growing this hydroponic. And for $6.99, I might experiment and buy a couple of these 4-inch syngoniums. I think that it would take the guessing work of having to water them, because what I found with syngoniums is they can tolerate, not being watered, but if you go too underwatering on them, they end up starting to decline in health, and then that's where they are more prone to like spider bites. That's the only thing with syngoniums is they are spider mite prone and mealybug prone, just like most plants, but especially if you don't give them the right care, like if you underwater them, they're more susceptible to pests. That's with any plants in general. So I did want to show you all of the different types of syngoniums. I just wish I knew the plant IDs for these syngoniums. If you don't have a syngonium in your houseplant collection, I would highly recommend growing one just because they will bring you joy. They are easy to care for plants and they can propagate easily as well. You can, take a bunch of cuttings. They will root within a week or two. And, a month later, you can plant them in soil if you like, and you'll be able to have more free plants. And here's some more calatheas. I can't really pronounce this calathea, but for the plant foldy or the viewer that was able to get me the plant ID, they're the correct plant ID. Thank you so much. So this particular calathea is a little bit more finicky, or at least that's what I was told. I love the velvety texture of the leaves. I think that it is one of those more uncommon calatheas just because most calatheas typically have the shiny satin leaves. Like this one right here, this Calathea lancifolia, love that. Actually, Calathea lancifolia is another calathea I need to get in my collection for hydroponics. And then we've got a Calathea medallion here, gorgeous looking calathea. Love that these calatheas are not bad, not a good, what am I trying to say? It's a good price. I think these are only for $39.99, these larger versions. So they are comparable to like a big box store, but you'll get more variety going to a local plant nursery. I did see that particular velvety type calathea at Lowe's, but I did want to pan over here and just show you how many plants they have. This is such a full nursery, and we're just in the indoor section. And then we have another calathea here. I don't know this particular plant ID. So again, plant foldies or anybody just watching this now, please leave in the comments with a timestamp if you know that particular plant ID for that calathea. The same thing with this calathea. And I did want to show you this right here. Look at how gorgeous this calathea is in a 4-inch planter, and this is only for $6.99. So not a bad price for calatheas. I will be buying several of these calatheas at Calloways when I get a little bit more funds, because again, I'm still broke from all of these plant shopping videos I've been making. But I found a little niche where I am starting to grow a lot of my plants in hydroponics. I like growing them in water strictly just because, especially with calathea, you don't have to worry about underwatering them because they're constantly being watered. There is that ambient humidity because you have standing water, so that kind of prevents them from having like spider mites, and it just takes the guessing game on a lot of your plants. And I love looking at the exposed roots as well, but these are all very healthy looking calatheas. I definitely want to get them soon, maybe this weekend, just because they are in their best health. Even at local plant nurseries, sometimes plants will decline in health, so you just have to be very mindful of that. Definitely at big box stores, if you go to a big box store and you're lucky enough to find the staff actually unboxing the plants right then, you want to buy your plant. This one right here is another calathea I would like to get. Now this one is a Calathea Green Goddess. I've seen this offered at Lowe's in self-watering planters. Love that it's just, green, and the green, it's just green across. A lot of calatheas will typically have like purple undersides, but sometimes having green, just straight green plants are nice to have in your plant collection. And then I can't get over this particular calathea. Like I probably just need to buy this today. I did say that I wasn't going to buy anything, but in hindsight, I probably should have bought this calathea because $6.99 is not bad at all. And again, these calatheas were sourced from Canada. Nice looking Calathea Dottie right here. Definitely love the purple, and look at that deep purple underneath the leaves. It's definitely another Calathea that I'm a huge fan of. My Calathea Dottie in hydroponics is doing amazing. I want to see what they do after a month, just because it'll take a little bit for them to really acclimate in water. I have several of my aglaonemas now growing in water, and I think that has helped out a lot. But as you can see, gorgeous looking calatheas, so many to choose from.
Blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected all of the love from up above. We used to feel like a glow.
And you can see right over here, they've got a bunch of air plants, just several plants to really look at. They've got a palm right here, and then we've got several varieties of assorted ferns. So I don't know all of the plant ferns, so I just want to go ahead and just pan over here and show you these ferns. Now again, with ferns, they typically need a little bit higher humidity. They don't like to dry out, so you want to keep their soil moist. So I will show you the ferns, and if I know the particular plant ID, I will pan that out. But you can see here, this is one of the ferns I might actually get, or one of my first ones. It would be a bird's nest hurricane fern for $19.99 right here. Now with the bird's nest fern, those remind me of like a Dracaena hurricane, and then asparagus ferns. I've seen these a lot at big box stores, and typically in the outdoor section. So I'm not sure if these would just grow outdoors. You can see that the roots are popping out. This one is for $16.99. But yeah, if you are a fern fan, let me know what the plant care tips are, or what type of ferns you like in the comments. I really like it when you guys do leave comments for my videos. It helps with my engagement. And obviously, if you haven't already and you made it this far into my video, please take the time to hit the like button. If you need to pause the video for a second, the like button really helps my efforts out. It helps push my videos to even more people who like to grow plants. And I would really like to see our plant community grow. I love seeing you guys on the live premiere chats. I think the most we've ever had was like 85 people watching live. Someday I'd like to see over 100. So if you love my videos and know that I am having a premiere, maybe invite a friend to come check it out. That would be awesome. And then to all of my regular plant foldies that are always on the live premiere chats, you know who you are. I really appreciate you guys. Continue to smash that like button, as my number one cheerleader Luke says every every live premiere chat we have. And then we have right over here some philodendron hopes. These ones are for $16.99 in 6-inch planters. Really like that a lot as well. Now with the philodendron hope, you typically see that at big box stores. This one is more of a juvenile form, because as the philodendron hope gets larger, the leaves tend to split a little bit more. That one requires bright indirect light like most philodendron. And then check this out, $16.99 for some Alocasia fridex, and there's like 2 of them there. I might end up getting an Alocasia fridex, but I might try to get a variegated one. I know, guys, everybody's all like, I'm jumping on the bandwagon in terms of like variegated Alocasia, but really that's what I've been seeing a lot on Instagram and social media is for some reason, all of these variegated Alocasia varieties have just popped out of nowhere. Give it, last year or a year or two, there wasn't as many, but now you can see so many varieties. And then you can see right here, we've got some philodendron goldie eyes, nice looking philodendron. And you can see they've got so many plants that they've got to have like, more little shelves to go house them, because they can't get on the main like tables here. And you can see these nice looking planters. I like that blue planter. And what else do we have here? We've got a bunch of Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blues. Now these are in hanging baskets, nice full hanging baskets of Cebu blue. And do you see the price right here? It is only for $29.99. So for $30, you get this huge 8-inch hanging basket of Cebu blue that you can, chop up and propagate. One of the easiest plants to propagate. They grow like weeds. So I always wondered why, 3 to 4 years ago, they tended to be a little bit more expensive, and now they're within reason. And here we've got some Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. These ones look to be a little bit more sun stressed because the leaves are a little bit brighter. Doesn't mean that they're unhealthy. And then we have this hanging basket of Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos. Love the variegation. Now with Marble Queen, as I've always talked about, you definitely want to give this a little bit more bright indirect light. This one's also for $29.99. Otherwise, you will end up getting this to revert. This will revert to more green leaves. So the more light you give it, the better variegation you'll get. It won't get as white as like a Snow Queen pothos, but it will maintain its variegation. And then you're looking at some large ZZ plants right over here. This one's for $59.99. That's not a bad price at all for ZZ plants. ZZ plants tend to be a little bit slower growing, but once they take off, they start to grow a little bit faster. This is just a green variety here. And, with ZZ plants, one of the easiest plants to take care of, they thrive with neglect. You don't want to overwater them for sure. Overwatering them will kill them. They can tolerate lower light conditions, and they're just a gorgeous looking plant. This one right here, for instance, is a Raven ZZ plant. You are basically able to find find these everywhere now. A couple years back, again, these plants were a little bit more on the uncommon side, but you can find them at big box stores and like local plant nurseries like this. I love how the new green leaves come out of a ZZ plant, and we have a bunch of Sansevieria right over here. Snake plants, again, are marketed as being very easy plants, but I honestly think that they're a little bit more challenging than what people give them credit for. I think that what's challenging about a snake plant is just the watering. Like, you don't want to overwater them, and if you go for a while where you don't water them, they end up getting dry rot, which is basically the opposite of root rot, and that's also not good for them. They can tolerate a lot of lower light conditions, so maybe that's the reason why they're easy to care for plants. And then we're just going to pan over a bunch of these staghorn ferns, this air plant right here in a hanging basket that is really cool. This one is for $99, but with air plants, supposedly they're easy as well, but I've seen, heard and seen people kill air plants. I think it's just because they overwater them and then the leaves end up rotting. And what else do we have here? Yep, this is for $99. And then we have some carnivorous plants right here. Not really a fan of carnivorous plants, and you can see this is another Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue growing up a totem or some type of pole, and you can see that the leaves are starting to fenestrate and get larger as as they grow up a pole. That's really their natural habitat. And we've got a variegated Marantha right here in a little hanging basket. That's super cute. Look at that right here. Like Marantha plants as well. I think they're super cute. I might eventually get a variegated Marantha. That one I would also grow in hydroponics. So anything in the Stromanthe, Calathea, and Marantha family, I will grow in hydroponics. Now this is a cool looking Alocasia. Not sure what this Alocasia is, but I do like the stems and just the texture of the leaves. So if you know the plant ID for that, please leave that in the comments under a timestamp or even the live premiere chats. And then we've got some more Peperomia serpens right here, more staghorn ferns. These ones are for not a bad price at all. And you can see that this one is just a small one that you can actually maybe mount on a wall, like a wooden plank. I do want to try to do that. And then we've got some more Boston tiger striped ferns or variegated Boston ferns. Look at that. I really do like the look of this fern. I just need to do my research for it. It might be another fern I might add. I'm a fan of the Boston Rita gold fern and this tiger stripe fern just because of the gold or the yellow leaves on it. I am a huge fan. It's the thing with me. I like dark foliage plants, like plants that are either purple or black, and then also the yellow neon ones are cool. And then we've got another asparagus fern here. I heard that asparagus ferns actually are easy to grow. I just think that their leaves are so delicate looking. And then we have another staghorn fern right over here. Another one that you could possibly mount on a wooden plank. So that's something that I'm going to try to commission my brother-in-law. He does a lot of woodwork, where maybe I can get him to give me a Monstera leaf shape and then probably mount a staghorn fern. That would be super cool. And then here we've got another Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue growing on a totem. And we've got some philodendrons here. So we've got a philodendron Summer Glory. This one's for $19.99. So like a philodendron Summer Glory, I do like the caramel, almost orange leaves, and they get really large. And then I also like the fact that it has a natural shine about it, a satin finish to its leaves. And then look at that texture, that caramel brown as the leaf unfurls is really nice. That is a plant that I will eventually get. I will most likely get it at Calloways because they have them priced very well. And what else do we have here? We've got some Amidria medium silvers growing on a totem. Really like the look of this plant. Silver plants as well are nice. I have a couple of cuttings that I need to put in soil and let it grow up a pole. So this one right here definitely needs to be growing up. It's a climber, so if you don't grow it up a pole, it will just shoot runners, and it does need a lot of bright indirect light. So if you don't do that, same thing with the Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue. Actually, if it doesn't get enough light, it won't really grow a lot of leaves. It'll just shoot runners because basically it's looking for like a light source. These are not bad at all for $6.99. This one's already trailing. I might end up getting another Cebu blue. You can never get enough of Cebu blues, and this is a really good price for it. These like 4-inch starter planters for like Cebu blue, philodendron heteroraceums, Epipremnum pinnatums, Epipremnum aureums, they're all very priced well. And look at how gorgeous that leaf is. And it's pretty large. Love that fenestration. Just love me some medium silvers. We don't see a lot about them on YouTube. So I want to see if I can get more in detail with that. And then you can see this is a philodendron white princess. This one is over $100. It is growing on a plank, and you can see how large the leaves get. I love the pink on its stems as well. It's not as variegated as I would like, but you know, the stem interest is really cool, and this one has clearly attached itself to a plank. So that's the thing with your philodendrons typically, or just any type of like aroid. If you let it grow it up a pole, you will get larger leaves, and you'll really see what the maximum potential of that plant is. But I am going to pass over and just show you, you know, a bunch of these other plants and just show you the plant IDs. Let me know in the comments what you think of them. Like even this philodendron heteroraceum Brazil, $6.99. This has already got a lot, very, very good price. And then we're going to be passing by a bunch of both those plants. So we're just going to sit here and admire the plants. I'll stop commenting for a second. Again, just feel free to leave comments on which plants you grow or what you think of them. And yeah, like, let's take a look. I would say every plant that I've just shown you so far, if you are a beginner to growing plants indoors or house plants, get you one of those. I mean, you can get the ones that are this larger size, 6-inch planters right here. These are, I believe, are for $16.99. But look how lush and full that golden pothos is. You can actually chop up those trailing parts and propagate them. But again, Calloways, especially this particular Calloway off of 121 in Custer in Plano, Texas, you must visit this because they've got so many plants. And you can even see right over here, they've got a bunch of starter plug plants for $2.99. I ended up buying a variegated strawberry begonia because I was looking at variegated strawberry begonias in those sizes on Etsy's, and they were a little bit more expensive. And here we've got a tiny Hoya compacta starter for $2.99. I actually am thinking about getting just a small one like that, but you can see they've got a lot of starter plants. If you want to do like a terrarium setup, or even just get a plant that you want to just really grow from just scratch, I would definitely recommend going and buying a starter plant. Like this one right here is a little bit more of an uncommon begonia for $2.99. I remember seeing these at another local plant nursery where they were selling this size for like $12.99. So, you know, this one actually looks like Japanese maple, like the lace leaf Japanese maple, but that is a begonia. But you can see right here, so many plants to pick from, so many starter plants. Love that crane right there, that crane decoration. And guys, if you haven't already, this video actually, or this channel actually started out as an origami ASMR channel where I was literally folding origami paper cranes every single day. I actually fold paper cranes daily. My goal is to actually fold 1 million paper cranes in my lifetime. But if you haven't already, really scroll down to my older videos, learn how to make a paper crane. It really does promote mindfulness and it's super relaxing. Would really like for you guys to check that out. Just because, you know, looking at that crane decoration, it just reminded me of my origami. I may pepper in a couple of origami paper cranes. Although when I check my analytics and put, you know, a little small 1-minute clip in between my plant shopping videos, I noticed there was a huge drop of viewers. So I didn't really want to do that. I guess, you know, you guys really just want to be about the plants, but I might sneak in some more other, you know, plant content. I definitely want to eventually move away from just doing plant shopping videos, but I feel like this is what, you know, most of my plant viewers, my plant foldies want to see. So I'll continue to give you guys what you want, but eventually I hope you guys will allow me to share a little bit more of my personal life, maybe do some of my personal blogs, personal food trips. I'm a big foodie as well. Anyways, let me get off that rant and show you the outdoor plants. So we're just going to quickly pan over here. You can see they've got some tulips here. Tulips are still blooming, surprisingly, just because I feel like, you know, they're about to end in their season. It's very quick with these bulb, you know, flowering bulb plants. But you can see here, they've got so many plants here. Look at how massive that fern is. I do like this little setup that they have of like garden accents. I can't pronounce this name, but I've seen this particular plant, the purple version, indoors, grown by Costa Farms Exotic Angels. But you see how fiery those leaves are. Super cool. I really like that. A lot of these plants are either for ground covers that you can grow, but there were a couple that I ended up buying just because I want to try to grow them indoors. And one of them would be the white edge Swedish ivy. So I ended up getting one where it was more green on green variegation. Now I've been told that white Swedish ivy are easy to grow and propagate. So we're going to see what that looks like. I'm going to let it grow, and I heard it was a vigorous grower, so that's cool. And obviously we've got that Hydra helix right over here. You know, you weren't going to have a plant, you know, grow fold video without me seeing Hydra helix or Hedera helix. That was just an English ivy. Again, I have a love-hate relationship, more so love for the plant. I just wish it would love me back. But you can see here, we've got a bunch of different types of plants, garden accent plants. Not sure if these plants can actually grow indoors successfully, so let me know. And then you can see how huge this greenhouse is. Like, this is massive, right? And there are people shopping here. I just try not to get people in the view, you know, in my videos, just because, you know, it's just out of respect. And you can see, look at that cool crane, you know, plant decoration right there. And we've got a bunch of coleus plants here. Getting into coleus plants, I actually uploaded a short 25-second clip of my grandmother talking about how to propagate coleus. So if it didn't push to your feed, definitely check out the channel. You know, click on my channel and then actually look under shorts feed, and you can see her coleus plants. She was able to multiply so many of them very quickly a couple years back, and I still had that clip. And then here is one begonia I did want to show you. I ended up buying this begonia from another Calloways. What I think I like about this begonia is obviously the dark foliage, the leaf, the stem colors, also the undersides of the leaves, but also the blooms. The blooms look like miniature roses. So, you know, that there's a lot of leaf interest for that. These starter plants were $3.99, so it's not bad at all. I do want to try to grow this outdoors for the most part, and then see if I could overwinter them or just grow them indoors. But all of these tropical begonias, or that's what they're being listed as, they've got different varieties, different blooms. Like look at this one right here, has some really cool blooms. Never really thought about begonias as being a plant that you would grow in like a flower bed, but apparently people do that. And look at this really cool coleus plant here. So the thing about coleus, you can actually grow them to be like trees. They can actually get very woody. The stems can get woody and strong. So I will see if I can do that. And just look at how gorgeous all of these plants are. So many plants to choose from. I want to do some outdoor gardening soon. And I'm going to come outside because I mentioned this in my previous videos, but I love like Japanese gardens, Japanese maples, cherry blossoms, the whole 9 yards for that. And you can see that they've got a lot of Acer palmatum, or that's the scientific or Latin name for Japanese maples. So they've got some that are starting to grow and unfurl their leaves. And, you know, this is when you know spring is here. You can see that they've got some peach trees here. So that's the thing. When you think of like cherry blossoms, it's not always cherry plants, but literally just flowering plants, you know, flowering fruit plants. So you can see this is one that I really want to add into my landscape. This is a cascading peach tree. I love the color of the blooms, but also the leaves have a dark raven look about it. So it kind of reminds me of like a Japanese maple. But if you just pan out here, look at how gorgeous they look. I actually have this gorgeous bonfire peach tree. This is a dwarf, or what they call a patio peach tree. I have mine growing. Mine is actually grown in a lot of size. I ended up buying it at Home Depot. Actually, it was more of a rescue plant, but I couldn't find one of these at local nursery stores at the time. So I ended up getting it, and now it's grown beautifully. I need to try to get a picture of it at least before all of its blooms go away. But look at how gorgeous they are. They are basically cherry blossoms. A really good aesthetic if you want to grow a Japanese garden. All of these plants are actually great for Japanese gardens. I really want something cascading like that peach tree though. Leave in the comments if you are a fan of this. This is absolutely gorgeous. Not sure if they can take full sun, so I would need to ask out. You know, for $169.99, that is not a bad price at all for a pretty good sized tree. That's something that I might end up getting next year. I don't really want to do a lot of landscaping this year. I want to take it easy and just kind of focus on my indoor plants, because, you know, balancing outdoor gardening and indoor gardening is a lot, on top of like having a very demanding job and doing YouTube. So we're just going to admire all of these plants for now. I wish I could just have all the time in the world to garden. And another plant that I really like to grow outdoors are ginkgo biloba trees. This one is the jade butterfly. What I like about ginkgos are they are moderately, you know, they are slow growing trees, but they can tolerate, you know, drought, bright light, full sun, 100-degree Texas weather, so they do very well. I have a ginkgo biloba autumn gold growing in my backyard that has really sized up since I planted it about 5 years ago in the ground. And you can see right here, look at these assorted magnolia trees. I do love, you know, flowering ornamental trees. I just haven't been able to successfully grow them. I got me like a saucer magnolia. It just didn't do well for me, unfortunately, in my backyard. I don't know if it was just too much sun, but we can see that a lot of the plants are still dormant. You can see this is another type of hydrangea here, more of like a tree form. But look at how gorgeous these blooms are. So we're just going to pan over here and just kind of admire all of the plants and even all of the Japanese maples. I love Japanese maples. I would say the best Japanese maples to grow, or the common ones I would say, would be like Acer palmatum blood good, Acer palmatum sangukaku, and Acer palmatum emperor 1. Those are Japanese maples that do very well in the North Dallas area. If you actually want to buy Japanese maples, go to Metro Maples in Fort Worth if you are actually a local in the Dallas-Fort Worth area or even willing to travel. Scott Hubble, who is the owner of that actual nursery, is a friend of mine. I've been going to his nursery for about 5 years now. I buy my Japanese maples there. They have some amazing maples, and I will be doing a future video featuring his local nursery. I go there every year and film it. Those Satsuki azaleas are to die for as well, so stay tuned for that. And you can see so many gorgeous looking Japanese maples. I love Japanese maples because they have an elegance, a natural elegance in their growth pattern, even their leaves and even the colors of their leaves. It's just stunning. I love Japanese culture, even the Japanese aesthetics and how their gardens are very simplistic but very elegant as well. And you can see they've just got so many varieties at Calloways, and you can see they're fairly priced well. I would say that certain, plant nurseries have a little bit better pricing, but if you're looking for, a pretty good sized Japanese maple, Calloway's nursery, any Calloway's nursery will pretty much carry them. And I do appreciate that they have such variety as well. Now with Japanese maples, now is the time to plant them. If you wait another month, they would not do well, especially in North Texas, because it'll be too hot for the plant to actually establish its roots. And the best time to actually plant Japanese maples are in the fall. I did want to show you guys all of these gorgeous looking azaleas. Azaleas have been a nemesis for me to be able to grow outdoors. They typically have died on me. I have 2 Satsuki azaleas that did well, actually survived the frost and the harsh winter, and those came from Metro Maples. But I'm going to attempt to try to grow some more Encore azaleas, specifically because Encore azaleas bloom at least 3 times a year. Most azaleas will only bloom in the spring. And with azaleas, they are acid loving, so you want to make sure that the soil has a lot of acidity. Things to do to get soil to have more acidity is you can buy a soil acidifier, or you can do the natural acidifying ingredient, and that is just to throw coffee grinds in your soil, mix it up. I know that sometimes Starbucks, if you go to a Starbucks, you can ask them for some coffee grinds. They may donate it, but if you have some coffee grinds available, that will really make the soil acidic, and then your azaleas will do well. Like, look at how gorgeous these azaleas are. These are the coral bell azaleas. These are more considered the Satsuki azalea, but look at that. Very tiny blooms. I actually had one of these. I bought one from actually Calloways, and it just couldn't survive being in a lot more sun than it needed to be. So I just don't have any big canopy trees in my landscape right now. So until I can get my Shantung maple to grow 20 feet tall or something and have a really good shade, I won't be able to grow these plants until then. But it's always nice to admire them. And I'm just going to pan over here and show you all of the other varieties of azaleas. Most of them are Encore azaleas. I love how the new growth of this, for instance, you can see that this autumn royalty is really nice. That purple lavender tone is really cute, but we'll just admire these azaleas. Definitely so many azaleas to choose from. And then I wanted to show you these Rex begonias again. $16.99 for these Rex begonias that are super large. I think that is amazing. So I asked that question, do you prefer the Rex begonia versus like the Ficus elastica ruby? Let me know in the comments. But for $16.99, this is another one that I might want to get in my collection, just because look at that is awesome. I love the gray foliage, and then just the metallic sheen on it, the undersides of all that bloody red look. $16.99 is not bad for such a large begonia. I guess they're trying to say that you can grow these plants outdoors. So let me know in the comments if you have grown, you know, Rex begonias outdoors successfully or even in a landscape, but I would definitely grow these indoors. $16.99 is not a bad price at all. That's why I love Calloways. But anyways, I will be ending this video soon. Please make sure you guys are hitting the like button. I appreciate you guys always following me, and I will definitely do another local plant nursery shopping video. But until next time, this is Richie of Grow Folds. Bye.